Abby visits her mother in Greece, where she teams up with the annoying chef Theo. She needs to get experience for a new job, so they get closer. But he has a secret he desperately tries to keep. Katie is glad to see Abby in the hotel early. There are a lot of issues that need fixing. A pipe bursts in the middle of the night, and the ballroom is closed till the water comes back. Maintenance isn't available till the next day, but there's also a wedding at 6. Abby knows pipes burst at night a lot, and assures Katie she will handle it. A Japanese ambassador is also arriving early, so Abby arranges for a free upgrade for the customer in the current room. Katie is relieved. Yet another problem is solved. Katie is sure Abby will be a great manager, even if they haven't offered her the job yet. Abby's mom, Jackie, is sitting in a beautiful cafe in Greece. She asks Abby to visit soon, since it has been 2 years. Abby also hasn't met Jackie's partner, Yanis. Abby explains that things are crazy at work. She doesn't have time for real food in New York, and cuts the call for her meeting. Jackie is sure she will get the promotion she worked so hard for. Abby boards the elevator in excitement, but comes down after clearing out her desk. She has been fired because of downsizing, and doesn't know what to do next. She arrives in Greece to meet her mom. Theo learns that he has 2 weeks to serve food on the premises, or the zoning will revert it to a residential property. Multiple notices have been sent to his address, but he didn't get any since he was in Paris. Abby notices how quiet it is there, and understands why her parents chose this place to retire. Jackie wishes they had shifted sooner while he was still alive. Jackie asks Abby to not wait for the right time, and to do what she loves. Yanis has invited them to his farm for dinner the next day. He has also planned a special treat for Abby. They find a bike parked in front of Jackie's car. She tries to look for the owner inside. Theo finds Abby clicking pictures of his bike. He is already in a bad mood, and she taunts him about parking there. He asks her to stand somewhere else if she has an issue and leaves. Theo's dad, Nicholas, has heard that he's back in Syros. He also knows he's staying in his late wife, Sophia's villa. Nicholas asks if Theo plans to finish what he started in Paris. Theo knows Nicholas wants him to join the business in Athens, but he refuses to give up on his dreams. Jackie brings Abby to her office, seeking Syros. It's very pink, because Jackie wants people to notice them. By the first look, it surely seems to be attracting attention. Jackie makes Abby meet Cassia, her only employee. Cassia is a local, who knows everything that's going on in town. Cassia reminds Jackie she went to Athens to study accounting. Jackie refuses to take her hint, and claims Cassie prefers real estate now. Jackie wants Abby to rest since she must be jet-lagged. Abby claims she never tires, and wants to work on her resume. But she dozes off, and wakes up in the middle of the night. Yanis is glad to meet Abby, and introduces her to his friends, Panos and Maria. Jackie whispers about how Yanis made the table they're sitting on. Their chef turns out to be Theo Christodoulopoulos. His mother, Sophia, was Yanis's childhood friend, so he hired Theo. Abby and Theo learn of each other's presence, but decide to ignore it. After tasting his meal, Abby heads to the kitchen to compliment him. She still feels his customer service is poor. He takes that chance to taunt her about Jackie's bright building. Abby retaliates, and hopes their car isn't blocked again. He makes her try a delicious Greek bite, so she doesn't even mind that he didn't apologize. Abby asks Cassia if her mom's business is in trouble. Cassia explains that Jackie is very stubborn and needs to make changes. It's obvious the changes start with the pink paint. Cassia knows everyone hates the color, but feels Jackie will only listen to Abby. She gets a call from Katie, who is trying to get Abby another job at the hotel. She has heard that corporate is looking for someone in franchise development, and they're discussing Abby. They plan an interview with her, but they need her to have restaurant experience. She will be responsible for opening restaurants, but she currently doesn't have any experience. Cassia overhears this, and has a friend who might need Abby's help to open his restaurant soon. He needs a partner, so Cassia urges Abby to meet him. Cassia asks Theo to meet a manager for his restaurant. Shocker, since no one saw this coming. Theo is worried about messing with his mother's legacy. Cassia reminds him that a manager of hotels can help him start the restaurant on time. He only knows about the food, so she feels someone else should handle the business side. Cassia calls out to Abby, and she can't believe Theo is the one she's meeting again. Theo is offended she's eating a microwave gyro, and throws it in the trash. He wants her to eat it right and claims he's doing her a favor. He makes her try a fresh gyro, and she agrees. Theo understands food. Cassia pushes them to understand how they both can help each other. Abby explains that she managed a hotel in Manhattan for 6 years. Cassia points out that Theo has to open his restaurant by next weekend. Abby also needs restaurant experience soon for her interview. She feels it's a deal where everyone wins. It doesn't really make sense to waste time now. But Abby still wants to know if he's opening the restaurant because of the cutoff date. Theo claims it has been his dream for years to reopen his mother's restaurant. Abby also clarifies that she knows nothing about Greek food. But she has always wanted to create something that has a lasting effect. She feels if she makes a difference in Greece, she can take the experience back with her. She feels it's also an attractive offer for him. He can get rid of her when she's done setting it up. We're all thinking the same thing, aren't we? Theo still has doubts, but Abby assures him she never does anything halfway. They decide to do business together, even if his surname is complicated. Cassia wonders why he's suddenly using his mother's name. Theo knows his dad's name comes with a lot of baggage. He wants to be anonymous there, and asks Cassia to keep his secret a little longer. Dimitris remembers the time Theo worked at their company, and knows he's very smart. Nicholas is worried Theo has again left school in Paris. He asks Dimitris to personally go to Syros and make Theo come home. Nicholas has told Theo he won't support his hobbies any longer. Nicholas also feels Theo will listen to Dimitris, because the villa he stays in belongs to the company. Giannis claims he likes the pink wall, and how it expresses Jackie's personality. Abby asks him to not be polite and knows they're attracting the wrong kind of attention. She makes Jackie understand that if she wants to sell the island feel, she needs to show that she understands it. They are convinced and paint it white. Again. Abby asks Jackie why she didn't mention anything about her business suffering. Jackie doesn't want to bother her, but Abby knows she can just make some changes on her website, so she shows up on Greek searches. Abby finds Theo's place, where the lights aren't working and things seem to be a mess. It belonged to Sophia's family, and he inherited it when she passed away 10 years ago. Abby claims to understand the feeling since she lost her dad in grad school. They discuss how it doesn't get any easier. He shows her the kitchen where he learned to love food. He thinks it's because of the way ingredients were always transformed into something special. Abby has mostly pictured a lot of yelling and chopping in kitchens. With all the shows, that seems more relatable. She feels they just need decor, furnishing, and permits to finish up the place. They also need a proper menu, and have collected some samples from local taverns. She feels it's important to know what the competition is serving. Theo doesn't care about the menu, because he understands Greek food. Theo doesn't want to include the popular items everyone serves, because he likes to work differently. He explains that he buys the freshest ingredients for his specials. Abby still points out that a menu is different. She asks him to cater to people's preferences, because that is how a restaurant usually works. Theo agrees to work on the menu, and they start fixing up the place. They clean and work with the electricity, and start feeling better as a team. Theo finds Dimitris in his villa when he gets back. Theo doesn't want to believe that Nicholas is planning to sell the villa. Dimitris feels Theo always gets what he wants and shouldn't make this difficult by resisting his father. Theo insists he wants a say on what he does in life and doesn't care if he wants good at his dad's company. Dimitris feels he can make Nicholas proud by running the business himself one day. Theo makes it clear he doesn't want that. He admits he was in Paris for 3 years, but needed to come back. This just assures Dimitris that Theo is a drifter who keeps moving from one place to the other. Theo is clear that he's staying back and opening the restaurant this time. Dimitris still wants to put the villa up for sale, and he finds a polite way to tell Theo he is kicking him out. Dimitris is sure this move will scare Theo, and he will come running back to Athens. Abby brings Theo to a flea market to buy stuff for their restaurant at reasonable prices. Theo has never been there, because he mostly lived in Athens. His parents were also clearly never the flea market kind. Abby brags about Jackie being a genius when it comes to sorting through junk and finding gold. She is excited about each item having its own history. They don't even know what some items are, but that is probably part of the charm. Abby feels the beauty of the place is that many items are useless, but someone else might want to buy them. Abby decides to play a game and thinks they should pick out items they think the other would like. In the meantime, they also need to buy stuff for his restaurant to give it a homey and authentic feel. While they're shopping, Dimitri turns up at Jackie's office. It's not pink anymore, but this is still not a good sign. Once they have shopped, Theo feels she's a great negotiator and is becoming more Greek. Abby shows that she has chosen the spice grinder for him. His grandma had a similar one, so he thinks his gift isn't good enough. He still gives her the antique oil lamp, which she can use to burn the midnight oil. Jackie thanks Abby for her help with the website. She finally has a contract to sell the Villa Pappas. She explains that it belongs to the billionaire, Nicholas Pappas. She hasn't seen it yet, because she remembers how much Abby likes going to new listings with her. As they drive up to Villa Pappas, Theo is making his breakfast. He hears the doorbell, but Jackie already comes in with her key. She is embarrassed to see Theo in a bathrobe, who wasn't expecting anyone. Abby doesn't seem embarrassed, but no one notices. Jackie introduces herself as the real estate agent Dimitris hired. Theo admits he knows Dimitris and claims he's just taking care of the place. He offers to show them around after he puts on some clothes. Jackie recognizes him as the chef from Giannis's farm and thinks he's amazing. He hopes to see her at the restaurant opening. Abby asks how he knows the Papas, but he avoids the question. He claims billionaires are like normal people till they sell the house without giving you a notice. Theo explains that Mrs. Pappas designed it for big gatherings. He shows them to the kitchen and tries to stand in front of some family photos he couldn't hide. Jackie promises to call next time, and Theo reminds Abby about their menu. Abby explains how Cassia set her up with Theo, and now they're working together. Jackie reminds her she's on vacation. She's not mad, but asks Abby not to invest in something she can't get out of. Giannis brings roses for Jackie and takes them sightseeing. Abby comes to the restaurant one day earlier, since she got Theo's message about the delivery. She helps him unpack and wants to make sure things are perfect for their inspection. When they're done, Theo knows his mother would have loved this. He brings her to an olive tree to show her how he makes olive oil. They pick the olives, but she sprays him with water when he asks her to rinse them. This soon leads to an impromptu water fight. Shocker, who could have seen this coming? Theo explains how his grandma from his mother's side always emphasized the importance of tears and sweat to thank the olive oil. He explains that she was from the island, but his dad is from Athens. Theo remembers he needs to show her something and takes her to a local traditional dance. He picks her up on his bike so they can start shopping for the ingredients. He wants to create a menu around olives and oranges from that season. She wonders how they work together. He asks her to picture a fish cooked with spicy green olive juice and nectarines. They start baking Abby's favorite spanakopita, which he earlier thought was too common for the menu. He explains that he has added his own twist to make it bolder and more vibrant. He asks her to brush the butter and shows her the right way to do it. He makes her taste the items and asks for her opinion. She's sure when the word gets out about him, people will be lining up to get tables. He is glad she is pronouncing his mother's surname correctly. Abby feels it's the least she can do as business partners, which makes him slightly guilty. He wants to make the menu based on these items and agrees to add some more options. He wonders what it's like to work in a hotel. She explains how challenging customers can be sometimes. She feels the corporate side of it is worse, but she loves the creative side. He admits he also had a corporate job for a while after college, which made him want to open his own restaurant. He loves what Abby has done with the design and thinks she brings a lot of positive energy to the restaurant. She reminds him she has to go to New York after this, but he is satisfied that she created something that will outlast her visit. They watch the stars for hours and are amazed by the clear skies. They also realize it's dawn, and they have stayed up all night. Cassia asks about Theo's progress with the restaurant. She teases him about spending a lot of time with Abby. He claims that's what business partners do, but Cassia points out the romantic meal he made for her and thinks it's something more. Theo still insists she needs to understand him as a chef if they're doing this together. As far as excuses and denial go, his are pretty impressive. But he still hasn't told Abby that he's a Papas. Cassia asks him to let her know before she finds out from somewhere else. This seems ominous, especially since Dimitris and Jackie are meeting again. Jackie has a lot of offers, so she wants to host an open house for the highest bidder. Dimitris suggests next Saturday, but she remembers that it coincides with Theo's opening. She remembers Theo mentioning that he knows Dimitris. He understands what he's trying to hide, and informs Jackie that Theo is Nicholas's son. Jackie wonders if Abby knows enough about Theo. She informs her about Theo being a Papas and feels bad she had to find out through her. Jackie feels Theo might have a reason to hide this. Abby doesn't know how to react, but hopes she can make him admit this. Katie feels her being in business with the heir to a boating empire is huge. They check out Theo online, and Abby still can't believe this is the same guy. Katie tries to make her understand that opening a restaurant with a billionaire celebrity chef is great for her resume. Theo is expecting Abby when Dimitris walks in. Theo assures him he's moving out of the villa that night. Dimitris also wants him to give up the restaurant now. Theo insists that his mom left it for him, and he has memories of helping out in the kitchen. Dimitris pressures him. Since Theo is breaking his dad's heart by not joining the family business, Theo reminds him that the restaurant was a family business too. Sophia was passionate about running it, even after she married a Papas. He wants to continue her legacy. He also feels Nicholas should come down himself to understand what he's trying to do with the place. Theo leaves the villa that night and comes to sleep at the restaurant, where the lights still aren't working. Dimitris informs Nicholas about the open house and claims he needs more time to convince Theo. Abby wants to treat the restaurant as an event and not just a meal. She wants exclusive items initially and thinks they should grow by word of mouth. Theo is distracted by a notice to pay 10 years of city taxes before they can open the restaurant in 2 days. She thinks he should pay it off, but he claims he doesn't have the money. This is ironic coming from a billionaire. But Abby plays along. She asks if he knows someone who will pay for it, but Theo seems unsure. She offers to figure out a fundraising solution while he also thinks of some options. She leaves out a clear hint with her expressions and hopes he takes it. Abby calls an olive oil brand to discuss last-minute investment. She even explains that Theo is a papas to assure them. Theo takes Abby to Anos, who has a selection of the finest wines. He makes her try some Syros specialties. They remind Abby of a port dessert wine. She has guessed right, and he explains how the stinkiest cheese is paired with the sweetest wine. Abby admits she found an investor to cover their opening costs. They want the restaurant to exclusively use their olive oil in return. Theo refuses to do that and insists on making his own olive oil. She reminds him they need money to open a restaurant so soon. She feels they're out of options, so he needs to make some compromises. He wants to find another way, so she asks him about his father. He claims only his family is rich, but he's not. Who wouldn't want such a billionaire problem? He also gets mad that she used his dad's name to get the scholarship. She reminds him she was saving their restaurant and feels hurt he didn't even tell her who he was. He claims he just wanted her to know the real him. Where have we heard this before? Abby informs him that the olive oil and their check are getting delivered the next day. She wants him to deal with it however he likes. Abby runs to a ship to get Wi-Fi for her interview with Thomas. She explains that she's in Greece for the restaurant's grand opening. She brags about Theo being their chef and how she leveraged his name to build a brand. Thomas feels she is the kind of person they want, since branding is important. Theo leaves a message for Nicholas. He explains that he has been trying to fix his mom's restaurant. It has been his dream since he joined a culinary school, and didn't expect it to happen so fast. He knows Nicholas doesn't approve of his choices, but asks him to be there for the grand opening. He promises to hold his favorite table, and claims that he loves him. Abby gets the job she wants, and it starts next week. She knows she should take it because the salary is great, and she will have more responsibility. Jackie feels she doesn't sound happy. Abby claims she's processing it. But could there be another reason? She feels she's faceless in New York, while the restaurant in Greece is more personal and creative. Jackie assures her she will support Abby no matter what. Theo wakes up in the middle of the night and hears water leaking. He tries to fix it, but ends up breaking the ceiling. He calls Abby for help, who shows up instantly. It really doesn't seem like they will pass the inspection at this point. She feels bad about pushing him for the olive oil, and he also admits he overreacted. He has taken her advice and cashed the check so they can have their opening. She wonders if he considered another manager, but he doesn't want anyone else by his side. They start repairing the place. Theo waits with bated breath before he celebrates the lights working. They have even repaired the ceiling, and know they make a great team. It's dawn again, and Theo needs to head to the market for the ingredients. Abby also needs to pick up their sign from the woodshop and plans to meet him later for the inspection. He feels they have time for one last trip and takes her to an ancient amphitheater. It gives him a new perspective on time, since it's their local version of the ruins. He comes there every time he wants to think. He used to visit at the end of the summer every year as a kid before heading back to Athens. He would stand in the middle and imagine the energy people focused on that spot over centuries. He makes wishes there and asks her to make one with him. He knows she can feel it too, and they head to work after wishing for something. Abby finds out that they didn't pass the inspection because of a stupid reason. Theo assumes his father must have intervened and regrets calling him. Abby doesn't believe his dad would do something like this when they're so close. She knows the situation with the villa was different. She suddenly remembers they still have the villa and can set up there. Theo is still allowed to cook, but not serve, in the restaurant. She feels she can drive the food he makes to the villa, and knows they can figure out the zoning issue later. She feels they need to try, even if they fail. She approaches Jackie to ask her for a favor. She suggests that their restaurant can cater to the open house. She knows Jackie also wanted to showcase how this place can be used for entertainment. Cassia loves the idea, and Jackie knows she can't refuse the son of the owner. Abby gets to work and leaves a table by the window for Nicholas. While Jackie starts showing the open house, Abby and Cassia start serving. Everyone loves the food, and Jackie personally welcomes Dimitris. She explains about Theo's restaurant catering, while Abby heads back to the restaurant to pick up more. She is excited about people's reactions to the food, but Theo is still upset his dad hasn't turned up yet. Abby makes Dimitris try the food, and he seems to love it. Abby thanks Giannis for all his help, and feels her mother is lucky to have him. Jackie's open house has also been a success, and they have some offers above the asking price. Theo always doubted he would ever be able to open a restaurant like this. He knows this might not work because of the zoning, but thanks Abby for making that night so special. He admits he likes everything about Abby. He has had the best time of his life with her. He knows he made getting to the opening night very hard, but he admits he did it so he could spend more time with her. When he starts talking about the future, Abby informs him about her job offer. She wants to accept it because she won't be able to leave Greece if she doesn't. Clearly, the job isn't the only reason, but she admits this is not the future she imagined for herself. Theo is afraid of running the restaurant alone and his father shutting it down, but he's most afraid of losing her. She reminds him this moment is bound to come, but he takes her hand and kisses her. Nicholas finally turns up at the restaurant and hopes it's not too late to order. Abby takes him to his favorite spot. She knows his presence means the world to Theo. Nicholas enjoys the meal and wonders if it's his mother's recipe. He has been afraid of coming back since she passed. He didn't want to risk losing the memories of her in this place. He feels happy he did, because Theo is sharing what she loves with others. He feels Theo made the right decision, because this is the best meal he has had. Nicholas gives Theo his mom's recipe books. He thinks Theo should serve them at the restaurant. He asks Theo to call the inspector the next day, because Dimitris has already taken care of the permissions. Abby tries to find Theo at the restaurant the next day, but knows he might be in the ruins. She asks where they can serve food now that the villa is sold. Theo knows the company sold it to his dad, who has given it back to him. Abby finally feels she should stay longer to see how the restaurant works out. They know they will love working on it, and kiss again.